Hey guys, and welcome back to Spooky Island. And today we have the second film for our 5 minute review, and that film is Boss Baby: The Family Business, or the sequel to the 2017 Boss Baby film. Now, I just finished watching this, so this is my initial reaction. I would say that this film is solid. I'd say this is a solid film. Um, I'd say it's probably its strongest point is the comedy. The comedy is probably as good as the first one. It's very strong in that aspect. It has Easter eggs to other films and like references which it did in the first, which it keeps in. Um, and probably the standout character for me in this film was Tina, who's the new kind of boss who is the daughter of Tim. There's some kind of questionable flaws to this film, but we'll get onto those in a minute. But with Tina, I think she done as well as um, Alec Baldwin did with where he played Theodore in the first film. Uh, she's basically delivered the same level of like performance with her character in this film, and I don't think this film would have worked without her. Um, Being that good, I think her voice acting in this film to play Tina was really good. I think it was probably my favorite part of the film. So, um, but the flaws of this film, I would say there's a few. I mean, the music choice is very good as well. There's a lot of good songs. There's a lot of Easter eggs. There's a lot of marketing put in place in this film as well. But yeah, the flaws I would say um, there's a few, like, obviously you know from the trailer that Tim and Theodore both go back as being babies, and there's a few scenes where they basically spend a lot of time with the family, and the family doesn't realise that that's Tim because he has glasses on, and it's a little bit like it's a running gag, but at the same time, like, they've dimmed down basically every single character, and the one character that knew was the baby. So to me, that seemed like a little bit of a stretch, um, and I obviously, like, it was done because the his mum and dad, Tim's mum and dad, were like the closest to being like, oh, we know you from somewhere, you look like Tim, but then it's like, hmm, they kind of passed it off, which I didn't really think was the best idea. Maybe they could have somebody else find out, but then you're messing with the story, so I guess not. Um, but I also thought that um, there's some kind of, oh, also Jeff Goldblum in this film is plays the villain. He is very good in this film. He whether he does voice acting or just acting, he's always so good. And he delivers again in this film. He really was good. Um, but I'm just trying to think, like, the way it just, to me, it doesn't seem as good as the first one. Because the first one I feel like had a lot more, like, I feel like it had a stronger story in the first one. Um, this one, it wasn't a bad story. It was a good story. I just would prefer to watch the first film. Um, the first one was obviously more in the way of like babies versus puppies, but this is like babies versus adults. Like, they can say no, which is a good premise for a second film. But to me, I would prefer to watch the first one, even though this is a good sequel. I'd say it's a decent sequel. Um, and then I'd also say that they've also set up a third film towards the end. There's a few scenes where you can see them wanting to return to this world, and depending on how well this film does, I don't know. The ratings, I think they're sitting at about 60-ish% right now, which I think is kind of true. I've put down here 65-ish%, so my review for this will probably be, I'd say, probably about 68, 60, 69, as it were, percent. Um, I would also say well, we're getting into 5 minutes here, so I will finish it off. But I'd also say that this film handled, I think it handled a lot of things well, in the way of the characters, like they had to kind of keep them the same. And I also really liked him in this film. I think him being like an adult as he was as a child, and they done it because like he's a stay-at-home dad, you know, so he can stay like that. He can kind of be more of a kid than most people. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap up the review here. I'd say probably about 68% for this film, 69, without trying to make it a meme. But yeah, I enjoyed this film. I'd say if you like the first one, you're gonna like this one. So thank you guys for watching, and see you guys later.